Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Passim Streams. Here tonight, we're coming live from Club Passim itself. We're going to have Alastair Moock's Pastures of Plenty 20th anniversary show happening in just a few minutes. I want to say a couple things about Club Passim before we get the show started. As many of you know, this club has been around in Harvard Square for over 60 years. The last 25 years have been as a nonprofit organization. We're not just a music venue. We also run a music school. We have outreach programs, a Celtic festival called BCM Fest. We give grants to artists through our Iguana Music Fund and the Passim Emergency Artist Relief Fund. We've been doing this as a nonprofit organization and relying on your help as listeners, as viewers, as perhaps former attendees and future attendees. But we are asking for donations through our streaming sites these days. If you can make a donation, you can go to passim.org/stream. We're asking for a $25 donation for tonight's concert. This helps keep us in business, it helps keep artists working, and it helps this music community at large. Like I said, through our grants, we're going to be giving out $40,000 in grants to artists for their projects through our Iguana Music Fund by the end of the year. However, through our Passim Emergency Artist Relief Fund, we have already collected and distributed over $145,000 since we closed down in March. So we're thrilled to have you tuned in. Please make sure you share this stream on your own social platforms as well. You can just hit the share button on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, just paste that link in something and into another browser and send it to folks so that we can get as many people tuned in as possible. We're thrilled to see so many of you tuned in already. We've got a fantastic show that is going to be happening. So please take a moment, grab yourself a drink, settle in for Alastair Moock's Pastures of Plenty.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. I can't tell you how good it is to be back in this space. It's been a year for me. And I'm joined live here in the club by Sean Staples, by Paul Kohansky, and by Eric Royer. And Matt Smith and Abby Altman are here with us too. And we're glad you joined us. We're going to be joined remotely by a bunch of friends. But we're going to start with a real live song actually playing together live here back in the club. And this is a song by Woody Guthrie, who gave his song title name. Well, he didn't choose to give it, but we took it for this series. This is a song of his called Hard Trap. Well, I've been doing some hard traveling, I thought you know. I've been doing some hard traveling way on down the road. I've been doing that hard traveling, hard rambling, hard game. I've been doing that hard traveling low. Well, I've been riding it fast paddling, I thought you know. I've been riding flat wheelers way on down the road. Yes, I've been riding dead end of fly passengers picking up cities. I've been doing that hard traveling road. Yes, I've been doing some hard traveling, I thought you know. I've been doing some hard traveling way on down the road. Yes, I've been doing some hard traveling, hard rambling, hard game. I've been doing that hard traveling low. Yes, I've been doing some hard rock mining, I thought you know. I've been leaning on pressure jail way on down the road. Well, I've been hammering, I've been firing, I've been ducking red hot eyes. I've been doing some hard traveling low. Oh, I've been doing that hard harvesting, I thought you know. North Dakota to Kansas City, way on down the road. I've been cutting that wheat, stacking that hay. I'm trying to make $5 a day. I've been doing some hard traveling low. Sean. I've been laying in a hard luck chain, I thought you know. I've been nailing big. See, I've been doing that hard traveling, Lord. Yes, I've been hitting that Lincoln Highway. I thought you know. I've been hitting that 66 way on down the road. I got a heavy load, worried mind. COVID's on my mind all the time. I've been doing some hard traveling, Lord. Yes, I've been doing that hard traveling. I thought you know. I've been doing some hard traveling way on down the road. I've been doing some hard traveling, hard rambling, hard gambling. I've been doing that hard traveling, Lord. Yeah, tag. I've been doing some hard traveling, Lord. Yeah. You know, it's been kind of hard traveling for everybody, including us musicians. This isn't an easy year for anybody, but we're thinking of all you at home and whatever you've been going through this year. This year marks the 20th anniversary of this series of Pastures of Plenty. And we were saying ahead of time that this is the fewest people we've ever had in the club for one of these shows. Usually it's spilling off the stage, 6, 7, 8 performers. But it feels so good to be making music live together again. Oh, God. And in this space. I want to do a song here by Dave Van Ronk. Dave played in this club multiple times. I heard he was the only artist that was ever allowed to smoke in here. Is that true, Matt? I had a memorable encounter with Dave once. I'd gone to see him at a club, and it was one of these clubs where there's no dressing room for the star. He deserved a dressing room, but he didn't have one, and so he didn't have his own bathroom or anything either. And I went in at the intermission, and I went in and I was standing up against the wall, you know, doing what men do, thinking about things and a career in music. And Dave came in and he stood just feet away from me, and he was facing the wall also. And we looked at each other, and I nodded, and Dave nodded back. And it was a memorable moment for me. I don't know if Dave thought about it as much over the years as I did, but I'm glad I had that little interaction. And lately I've gotten to know Dave's wife a little bit better, and Elijah Wald, who spent a lot of time with Dave and in this club. Anyway, this is kind of Dave's signature song. It's one of the many songs he found and resurrected in his own style with his own arrangement, called Green, Green Rocky Road. When I go to Baltimore, need no carpet on my floor. Come along and you follow me. We'll go down to Galilee, singing Green, Green, Rocky Road, promenading green. Tell me who y'all love, who y'all love. Little Miss Jane running to the wall. Don't you stumble, don't you fall. Don't you sing, don't you shout when I say come running out. Well, green, green, rocky road, promenading green. Oh, tell me who y'all love, who y'all love. Little Miss Jane running to the wall. Don't you stumble, don't you fall. Don't you sing, don't you shout when I say come running out. Well, green, green, rocky road, promenading green. Tell me who y'all love. Who y'all love. Ooka dooka soda cracker. Does your mama chew tobacco? If your mama chews tobacco, ooka dooka soda cracker. Well, green, green, rocky road, promenading green. Well, tell me who y'all love, who y'all love. When I go to Baltimore, leave no carpet on my floor. Come along and follow me. We'll go down together, singing green, green, rocky road, promenading green. But tell me who y'all love, again. Yeah, green, green, rocky road, promenading green. Just tell me who y'all love, Tell me who y'all love, Yeah, beautiful old tune. Well, we're going to go to our first remote visitor here, and we couldn't start with somebody more in the spirit of Pastures of Plenty. Rose Polenzani has been doing her own series for years called Sub Rosa, which is like this, but it's a lot more modern, and people write brand new songs for stuff. They're less lazy than we are at this series. But Rose is the queen bee of harmony, and I know she hates singing by herself. So she created a little masterpiece in this video, and here it is.
One, two. along your green valley, I'll work till I die. My land I'll defend, my life if it be. 'Cause my pastures are plenty, must always be free. Always be free.
Where's Kippy? Kippy, where are you? Where? Where are you? I can't see you.
The beginning. I got lots of options at the beginning. Where in the world? At a time. At a time when the world seems to be spinning hopelessly out of control. There's deceivers and believers and old in-betweeners and people with no place to go. It's the same old song, it's right and it's wrong, and living's just something we do. And with no place to hide, I looked in your eyes and I found myself in you. I looked to the stars, I tried all of the bars, and I nearly went up in smoke. Now my hands on the wheel, I found something real, and I feel like I'm going home. Now in the shade of an oak, down by the river, sits an old man and a boy, setting sails and spinning tales, fishing for whales with a woman that they both enjoy. It's the same damn tune, it's the man in the moon, it's the way that I feel for you. And with no place to hide, I looked in your eyes and I found myself in you. I looked to the stars, I tried all of the bars, and I nearly went up in smoke. But now my hands on the wheel, something that's real, and I feel like I'm going home. Yeah, I feel like I'm going home. All right. Cheers. Good luck.
Tim Guerin After Rose Polenzani. That's a song by Willie Nelson Tim was doing. It's almost like having them all here with us. Almost. Our friends. And we're going to send it over to Sean Staples here. He's got one for us in the club.
This is it's an old Bob Dylan song. And on a personal note, I got to say that I'm just really so, just aside from the fact that we're able to be here and we're able to just play music in the same room after not being able to do it for 8 or 9 months. I mean, it's just a pleasure to be here to be able to do that, but also to be able to celebrate 20 years of the Pastures of Plenty, which I've certainly been here for plenty of them. I think maybe Eric and I have done as many, if not more of them than anybody else. And they're just, we keep doing them because they're always musically just incredibly satisfying. And it's just such a special thing to be a part of this community. And these shows are always such a great celebration of that. So it's a pleasure to be able to do it one more time. It's a Bob Dylan song. Well, I ride a mail train, baby. I can't buy a thrill. I've been up all night, standing by your windowsill. Well, if I die on the top of the hill, well, if I don't make it, you know my baby. Well, don't the moon look good rising through the trees? Don't the brakeman look good flagging down the double E? Don't the sun look good sinking into the sea? Don't my baby look good coming after me? Come on, Eric. Well, now the winter time's coming, and the window's filled with frost. Well, I tried to tell you, baby, but I could not get across. Well, I wanna be your lover, baby, I don't wanna be your boss. Don't say I didn't warn you when your train gets lost. Well, I ride a mail train, baby, I can't buy a thrill. I've been up all night, standing by your windowsill. Well, if I die on the top of the hill, well, if I don't make it, you know my baby will. Yeah, if I don't make it, you know my baby will. Yeah, if I don't make it, you know my baby will.
Yeah, Sean.
Thank you very much.
Sean Staples, everybody. Give it up. All right.
We can't hear you.
We hear you. Oh, we're gonna go. We were gonna be joined by Anand Nayak tonight. my partner in crime on so many projects. Anand couldn't make it, being safe as we are all trying to be, and we all have different family situations. But Anand sent in a beautiful video of a song that he made, and this is Anand featuring Anand on several instruments with Anand on them.
Hey, thanks for having me, Alastair. My name's Anand. I'm going to do an original song today that it was for me. It was inspired by the story of how the guitar made its way to Hawaii. I'm not going to tell you the story. It's going to take too long. So look it up. It's a good story. And the story got me thinking about migration and my own story. I was born in India, but I've lived here in the U.S. since I was 2. So here it is. It's called So Far From Home. Thanks again for having me. I don't know what I'll find when I reach the other side of this ocean. My fate is tied to a line sinking into the blue. There's no country for me, just the home of my heart and devotion. So far from home, must I leave my love and go alone? Well, I was born somewhere, I didn't stay there long. All I have is a taste of the air of the place in my mind. I was born on the wind, like a seed, like a note in a song. So far from home, the wind can leave you dry as bone. So far I have been willing to go, no looking behind. I don't know what I'll find. Well, some people say paradise is waiting out there for us. Yes, and some people steer by the stars across the sea. Well, I say if we are blessed, we will rest in the arms that care for us. So far from home, just to learn what it is I've always known. So far from home. I'm so far from home. Back to you, buddy.
Well, hi, I'm Mary Amsterberg. I'm very happy to be here to be a part of the Pastures of Plenty 20th anniversary show. Congratulations, Alastair. Alastair and I have known each other for quite some time now. The Kendall Cafe had an open mic night, and we used to go down there and play some songs, hang out. One of the things that always struck me about Alastair was he was always focused on community and music, and he certainly has accomplished that with this series. So I would like to do one of his songs. This song is called When That Moon Comes Out Tonight. And the reason why I decided to do it was during these very stressful and strange times, we are all longing for a moment where we can feel that things are going to be all right. So that spoke to me, and that's why I'm doing this song. Everything's gonna look better than it did this afternoon. Everything's gonna seem simpler when I see that evening moon. It may not last forever, it may not change my life, but everything's gonna look better when that moon comes out tonight. The thoughts that I've been thinking and the lines upon my face, the reasons I'm not sleeping tonight will be erased. It could be just illusion, the lure of fractured light, but everything's gonna look better when that moon comes out tonight. Most folks think it's easier to see things in bright light. To me, the world's much clearer when that moon comes out at night. It may not solve my problems, it may be just time borrowed. The world might not have changed at all when the sun comes up tomorrow, but I'll take just an evening to feel that things are right, 'cause everything's gonna look better when that moon comes out tonight. I know the stars will all be shining, and I'll find that second sight, 'cause everything's gonna look better when that moon comes out tonight. I know everything's gonna look better when that moon comes out tonight. Everything's gonna look better when that moon comes out tonight. Thanks, Alastair.
Whew. You know, when I first came to Boston, I would go down to the Kendall Cafe. Sean, you were hosting open mic there back then. I did. And Mary and Jen Trinan, they were the superstars. And I can't tell you what an honor it is for me to have Mary sing my song, because she'll always be a hero to me. One of the great talents from our town. Well, Eric Royer's got an old tune for us here. A nice old. Is this? I assume it's traditional. You can't trace this to somebody, can you?
Yeah, I don't think anyone knows who wrote this.
Well, then I wrote it.
This is a song by Alastair
Just
Moock.
say that.
This is about a guy or a woman who follows this a shyster on a journey, and it turns out to be a bad thing because, well, an old true love. Well met, said he, I'm just returning from the salt, salt sea, and it's all for the love of thee. Come in, my old true love, and have a seat with me. It's been 3/4 of a long, long year since together we have been. Well, I can't come in, no, I can't sit down, for I have but a moment's time. They say you are married to a house carpenter, and your heart will never be mine. I could have married the king's daughter, dear. I'm sure she'd have married me, but I've forsaken her crown of gold, and it's all for the love of thee. Now will you forsaken your house carpenter and go along with me? I'll take you where the grass grows green on the banks of the deep blue sea. She picked up her little babe and kisses gave him 3. Says, stay right here, my darling little babe, and keep your papa company. Well, they hadn't been on ship but about 2 weeks. I'm sure it was now 3 when the true love began to weep and mourn, and she wept most bitterly. Says, are you weeping for my silver or my gold? Says, are you weeping for my stone? Are you weeping for the house carpenter whose seat you never see no more? No, I'm not weeping for my silver or my gold. I'm not weeping for your stone. I'm weeping for my darling little babe, whose face I'll never see no more. Well, they hadn't been on ship but about 3 weeks. I'm sure it was now at 4 when they strung a leak in the bottom of the ship, and she shrunk and could rise no more.
Eric Royer. 1 chord songs. I mean, there's optional chords in there. It's mostly 1 chord. That's the way to write a song. You can't do it. You had to hold it down over time. It takes years to write a song that good, because all the chords got to wear away, just erode over time until there's only 1 chord left. I want to thank Matt and Abby for coming in and doing this live. We could have done this all remote or but being back in this club, this is where this series started. It is such a pleasure for us to be here in this space. This space really has history. It really reverberates in these walls. You can feel all the music for all the years, 50 years of Club Passim or Club 47, 60. And what about in this space? Since 63. So you do the math at home. It started around the corner from here, but we're proud to be part of that tradition. So one of the other people who's been part of this, I think he's up there probably with Sean and Eric and Paul. Paul probably wins the prize for the most Pastures. He's the steady rock. Only a couple times have we had a guest bass player. But the other person who's been to many of these is Mark Arelli. And Mark, as timely as he is, Mark sent this in. He was the very first one to send his video in. And this is a great song by Tom Prasado Rao. And we're going to bring Pastures into the current climate right now and talk to the political moment.
Hey everybody, Mark Arelli here, and I want to thank my friend Alastair Moock for asking me to be part of this virtual Pastures of Plenty 20th anniversary celebration. Congratulations, that's a big milestone. I know that songs of social change and justice and protest songs, if you will, have always been a part of the mix in Pastures of Plenty with the spirit of Woody Guthrie close at hand. And I heard this song on the internet. I stumbled across it shortly after the death of George Floyd, and it just broke my heart open, and I had no idea where it came from, and it turns out it was written by a guy that I used to cross paths with fairly regularly 20 years ago, but hadn't really seen in a while. A wonderful songwriter and person by the name of Tom Prasado Rao. He wrote this beautiful, heartbreaking song for George Floyd, and I wanted to sing that for you tonight. It's called $20 Bill. Some people die for honor. Some people die for love. Some people die while singing to the heavens above. Some people die believing in the cross on Calvary Hill. And some people die in the blink of an eye for a $20 bill. Some people go out in glory, yeah, with the wind at their back. Some get to tell their own story and write their own epitaph. Sometimes you see it coming, and sometimes you don't know until you run out of breath with a knee on your neck for a $20 bill. Brother, I never knew you. And now I never will. But I made this promise to you. I'll remember you still. So let this be our communion. It's time to break the bread. Do this in remembrance, just like the good book said. Sometimes the wine is a sacrament, and sometimes the blood is just spilled, and sometimes the law is the devil's last straw, the future unfulfilled, like the dream they kill. For a $20 bill.
Hey everybody, Pamela Means here. Happy anniversary, Moock. 20th anniversary of Pastures of Plenty. I'm so glad to be part of it. I think I was around one of the first ones, long time ago, when we were baby folk singers. Glad to be here. My father grew up in Jim Crow, Tennessee, a sharecropper son, far from luxury. Moved up north in 1952, and a damn thing changed from his point of view. His point of view. Now I've been pulled over on a shorewood shoulder, asked where you going, where you been. Ain't none of your business. Don't I look like an American? You're gonna think what you want now, don't you? I didn't know the side of the road was a courtroom. Everything dark comes out in the light. We keep marching on, but our souls are tired. 'Cause here we are again, here we are again. A black man gone 'cause of the color of his skin. I was grown and groomed in the Great Lakes Midwest, where politeness covers up years of repressed. Tight lips, tight asses, too slow to grow, hyper-segregated masses, and I had to go. I had to go. I seen the Rodney King riots in 1992, a black president. I seen that too, but ain't a dang thing changed from my point of view. Ain't a dang thing changed from my point of view. My point of view. Everything dark comes out in the light. We keep marching on, but our souls are tired. 'Cause here we are again, here we are again. A black child gone 'cause of the color of her skin. Everything dark comes out in the light. We keep marching on, but our souls are tired. 'Cause here we are again, here we are again. A black child gone 'cause of the color of the skin. The color of the skin. The color of our skin. The color of the skin. Thanks for having me. Happy anniversary.
Pamela Means. Pamela. So the very first kind of the precursor show to Pastures of Plenty happened at Johnny D's, actually. And it was myself, and I invited Pamela Means and Lori McKenna, and the three of us had a show in the round. And I thought I would like to keep playing with other musicians and playing in a row, especially playing with those two. And started Pastures of Plenty soon after. And we're going to get a little bit of a history of Pastures of Plenty brought to us by the great Boston folk critic Scott Alaric in a little bit. But I want to sing a song following those political songs, social justice songs. This is a song I've been doing a lot of writing, as many of you who are watching probably know. For the last 10 years, I've been doing a lot of performing for kids and for schools and for families. And more over the years, I've made social justice a central part of that. I've sung the songs of civil rights, the songs of Woody Guthrie and labor rights for kids for years. But when I sort of ran out of material or wanted to write about things that weren't out there and in other forms, I had to write the material myself. And this is one of the songs on this new album of mine called Be a Pain. Be a Pain was inspired by the slogan of John Lewis, Cause Good Trouble. And this is a song about how leaders all start off as kids. They're not fully formed, you know, they don't just pop out of the air. We become leaders when we make choices to stand up for what's right. And this is a song about that. Two little eyes staring from a crib, a tiny little mouth drooling on a bib, a tiny little fist with a tiny little grip. Before they grew up, everybody was a kid. Malcolm X was a kid, and Dr. King was a kid. Mahatma Gandhi was a kid. The Dalai Lama was a kid. Before they got tall, before they grew big, they used to be small. Everybody was a kid. You are a kid. You got dirt on your hand. You wipe them on your shirt. You wipe them on your pants. But one of these days, you're gonna get real big. How do I know? 'Cause everybody was a kid. So where you gonna go? What you gonna do? Who you gonna be? We're waiting on you. We're holding our breath, though our lips are all bit, because we all know everybody was a kid. Oprah Winfrey was a kid, and Angelina Jolie, even Bill Gates, and Muhammad Ali. Before they got known, before we knew what they did, before they got grown, everybody was a kid. Two little eyes staring from a crib, a tiny little mouth drooling on a bib, a tiny little fist with a tiny little grip. Before they grew up, everybody was a kid. So where you gonna go? Yes, and what you gonna do? Who you gonna be? We're all waiting on you. We're biting our nails, though we keep it well here, because we all know everybody was a kid. Yeah, we were all kids too. Sean, were you a kid?
long time ago, a really long time ago.
A tall little kid.
Tall, skinny little kid.
Were you a tall baby?
No, I actually I got really tall between sophomore and junior year in high school.
Oh, really? You
I remember
shot
I
up?
came back from summer break and everybody was like, "What happened to you?" It literally happened over like 3 months.
You know, I sprouted late too at the end of high school. I was always kind of medium height.
Yeah.
I sit down so much when I play. People are always surprised when they see me stand up. I'm a tall drink of water.
You're a giant. Yeah, you're huge. Huge.
I sprouted
Thanks,
really
guys.
early. I was 6 feet tall in first grade.
and then
With
you
a
came
beard,
down.
full beard.
And I never grew after that. It's really weird.
Well, the next video here is by my good friend. We've been playing tennis all. What's the month before this season? Winter, spring. So I'm just never good at that. Summer, fall, all fall. Vance Gilbert and I have been playing tennis together. It's quite a sight, and sometimes Mark Aureli joins us. And it's folk tennis, and Vance has got a pretty good backhand, and he yells at everybody in the vicinity. It's great. He comes down, he knows everybody who's playing within minutes. And Vance has a song that sums, I think, us up. It's called "Old White Men."
Happy anniversary, Alastair, and Pastures are plenty. Good 20th to you. I don't have much in the way of songs that head towards social justice, that paint with a big brush, so I'll tell you a very small, very tiny story. It goes like this. I was such a strange boy, 40 years or so back then. Fat with big thick old glasses, and had trouble making friends. Cruising through my neighborhood, could easily have come to no good end, till I stumbled into the workshops of old white men. Call your mother, you can stay. That's about all they'd ever say. They'd take the lid off of some old wooden box, and inside would lay a gem made of string, spring, wood, and glue. Right then and there, I'm sure I knew firsthand the raw ingredients of old white men. Old white men get teary-eyed December 7th. Old white men salute every flag they see. Old white men didn't care how cool I could be. A drop of glue will do to help it mend. Put the cap on when you're through, said old white men. It was all ball-peen hammers and calipers, dovetail joints and acetone, tubes and printed circuits, screws and spokes and wheels. The difference between truth and opinion. When you're old enough, be sure you vote, and never trust a woman wearing more than 3-inch heels. Oh, white men living cross-cut chainsaw lives. Oh, white men, they don't talk back to their wives. Old white men, thanks to them, I can sharpen your kitchen knives with a stone. Sometimes when I'm alone, I wonder what became of old white men. Do they synchronize their watches as on and on time marches? Do their belts need extra notches as their waistlines grow big and round? I call their wives up often, and I carry their husbands' coffins as these gray hairs of my own chase me down. Over the years I outgrew my awkward situation. I went to college, I joined a cause, became the black man I never was. And over the years I learned to view old white men with suspicion, 'cause I'd heard the world was run to ruin by old white men. Last Thursday I was hunched over my Briggs and Stratton mower, trying to adjust the carburetor when this kid come bending my ear, always bugging me when I'm working. So I said, make yourself seem useful, son. Clean the carbon off that spark plug, wipe it down and hand it here. Oh, white man, look me squarely in the eye. Old white men, they look right past my skin. Oh, white man, I can hear them oh so clearly. Are you gonna just stand there with that sanding block, son? Or make it so these pieces fit again? Thank you for having me, Pastures of Plenty. Appreciate you involving me in your 20th anniversary. Thanks again.
Hello, and we're happy to be here as part of Pastures of Plenty anniversary, and here comes a train, so that's perfect. Yeah. It's sad not to be able to be all together, which is really the whole idea of Pastures of Plenty. So I've roped, luckily, Jeffrey Foucault is trapped in the house with me, so roped him in. And we're gonna play a song by an Asheville-based songwriter named Liz Durrett. And it's called We Build Bridges. Yeah? We build bridges, don't we? Sometimes need a hand. Despite our best laid plans, don't we? Sometimes miss what we had. Struggle, don't we? Sometimes lose the reasons in the peaceful morning. We can clearly see where we've been. Tide pulls us out, alright. Oh, and the tide pulls us out, alright. Oh.
Oh, and the tide pulls us out. Alright. Oh, and the tide brings us back. How sweet it is.
Yeah, Chris Delmhurst and Jeffrey Foucault. So privileged to have all these, just this talent, incredible talent in this area come join us tonight. We're going to get a little history here. This is something that was sent in. I asked Scott Alaric. Scott Alaric was the folk reviewer for the Boston Globe for years and years and years. And he really was the guy who kind of could, the Boston Globe was the only thing around here that could really get people out to shows. And so when Scott wrote a review of you, it was a big deal. And he was very, very kind to me early in my career. I recently talked to him about it. I don't know why, because I wouldn't have spent any time on me at all. But Scott wrote a review early on for me, which really kind of opened doors and allowed me to mostly to feel like maybe it was worth continuing to do this. He also was the guy who named this series, and Matt Smith is going to read what Scott sent in. He's a writer, first and foremost, so he wrote a piece rather than appearing on camera.
In 1998, I was covering folk music for the Boston Globe. An editor told me something called a Moock was generating a buzz at the Burren. I've not always found buzz generation a reliable bellwether for great music, but since an editor recommended it, and the Burren draws a good pint, I decided to check it out. It turned out this Moock thing was Alastair Moock, a lanky young singer-songwriter with an easy charisma, wry wit, a taste for old folk standards, a knack for writing deceptively simple songs with a sing-alongable chorus, and a following so rabid, I hoped he would never turn his powers toward evil. The crowd was not only singing on choruses, they were singing the verses with him, a level of audience involvement I'd rarely seen outside a Pete Seeger or Arlo Guthrie concert, or when Neil Diamond sings Sweet Caroline at Fenway Park. When I spoke to Moock after the show, he said he'd grown up on the songs of Woody Guthrie, Leadbelly, and Pete Seeger, and thought the Boston folk scene was a little too, as he put it, tame for his tastes. He thought the folk music world should mirror the lives as we live them, which includes a little rowdiness and irreverence, along with the thoughtful introspection of the urban songwriters who dominated the Boston folk scene at the time. Folk is everybody's music, he thought. Folk's music. And he wanted to bring a little bit of that freewheeling, rowdy fun that Woody, Leadbelly, and Pete always injected into their shows. Pete liked to say that a good show should have a beginning, a muddle, and an end. Alastair was all for getting more muddle onto the folk stage. Spontaneity, audience participation, surprises, and more of those great old folk songs that nobody sings because everybody thinks that everybody else is singing them. I asked Alastair why he wrote so many songs with choruses, because it was fairly rare back then. He told me one of the most insightful things I've ever heard about the value of choruses. He said he'd study how Woody Guthrie wrote, and that the chorus was where he gave the song to the listeners, how it turned his song into their song. Not only because the chorus was singable, but because it universalized the themes explored in the verses, turning them from personal observations into shared expressions. Woody went from strolling ribbons of highway by himself to singing, "This land is your land." The song is now about all of us. It's our song. I thought, this kid is in his late 20s? Gee, I didn't figure that out until I was middle-aged and a 20-something folk singer at the Burren explained it to me. I was left with two unshakable ideas about Alastair Moock. One was that he gets folk music on a deep and essential level, and the other was that he would spend his life as a folk singer. The only way to understand folk music that well is to be hopelessly in love with it. I knew he would continue to be a vital presence in our music, to find more and more ways to make good music and good fun. So it didn't surprise me when a few months later, he asked me if I'd have a brainstorming lunch with him to discuss an idea for an ongoing ensemble show. Nor did it surprise me that his idea was not about him, it was about us. He wanted to create a format for an ongoing series of round-robin shows in which performers would alternate their own songs with traditional songs or covers they loved, but perhaps didn't feature in their set lists. So each show would be a one-off, a show the audience had never seen before and would never see again, full of surprises, spontaneity, audience involvement, and muddle. Lots and lots of muddle. True to the Mookster phenomenon, he wanted to inject some of that rowdy back in the folk world, encourage other songwriters to sing old songs, get off their set lists, and work without a net, and most of all, to sing with their audiences, not just at them. Jamming, joking, singing along, and the stomping of feet would be strictly encouraged. Then Alastair surprised me. As I recall, he was thinking of naming it after a Beatles lyric. Wait, who is this guy? The Beatles? I mean, I love them, and I understand that the young folk have a disquieting penchant for thinking of the Beatles as roots music. But ain't this Moock a Woody guy? I ruffled through my inner Rolodex of Woody, Pete, Leadbelly songs until I hit Pastures of Plenty and suggested it as the title for the shows. Or maybe we ruffled together and he suggested it. But it sounded adventurous, fun, freewheeling, evoking the endless fields of folk tradition. And it's Woody. What's not to like? Whoever suggested it, we both immediately embraced it, realizing it hit the bullseye of what Alastair was trying to do. He wrote choruses so he could give the songs to us. Now he created an ensemble caravan he would give to us. Long ago, Woody Guthrie said, "I looked through your eyes to see the hill you're standing on. Every word I ever wrote was something I heard from somebody else. My job is to tell you something you already know." Of all the ways Alastair Moock has absorbed the lessons Woody can teach, perhaps the most important is that his music is never about him. It's always about us, the hills we're standing on. I'm proud to know him. That's from Scott Alric, the host of WUMB's Folk Tales, writer, folk singer, and recovering music critic.
And novelist. Scott wrote a great book that takes place in the Cambridge folk scene, which is worth looking for. Well, I'm a little red up here, a little embarrassed. I wanted Scott to write something about remembering how we came up with the title, and in his extremely generous way, he wrote something, I think, mostly to embarrass me. I think that was the goal, and he achieved it. Thank you, Scott. I'm deeply honored. Thank you, Matt, for reading it with your somniferous, is that a word? Your deep, resonant tone. And we're gonna go hear a video now by she's young. This is the age that I was when I came here, and all of us were. But she's still that age. It's amazing. And one of the really great singers and songwriters on the Boston scene today. Her name is Elisa Amador, and this is a song she wrote.
Cuando miro afuera, cuando miro adentro, cuando miro afuera otra vez, de la periferia hasta el mero centro, siempre soy testigo y juez. Cuando sabré descifrar mi razón, cuando sentiré este momento quiero ser el ave y el pez. Cuando sabré descifrar mi razón, cuando sentiré mi hogar en mi voz, en mi voz, en mi voz.
Elisa Amador, what a talent. She asked, what would you like me to do? And I asked if she would play something in Spanish. Because she sings blues really well. She does a lot of things really well. But the stuff she writes in Spanish, I think, is especially special, at least to me. And I know my dad, who's watching, will be especially fond of that song. We're going to hand it over to the old veteran of Pastures of Plenty, Mr. Paul Kohansky.
Well, thank you, Alastair. Thank you, man, Abby, for being here. For anybody, anywhere who's watching it. You know, it's been a strange time. It's been a long time since March, when nobody has been working much. For me, it's been like 40 years where I've been working all the time, every weekend. It's been very strange the last few months to be home, and but thinking about missing work. And I got to thank the Mahogany Brass Band and Dr. Bryce Miller for hipping me to this song. Fellas, give me a big old G7. A man wants to work for his pay. A man wants a place in the sun. A man wants a gal proud to say she'll become his loving wife. He wants a chance to give his kids a better life. Well, hello, brother, hello. You can travel all around the world and back. You can fly, sail, or ride on a railroad track. But no matter where you go, you're gonna find that people have the same things on their minds. A man wants to work for his pay. A man wants a place in the sun. A man wants a gal proud to say she'll become his loving wife. He wants a chance to give his kids a better life. Well, hello, brother, hello. Yeah, man. wants to work for his pay. A man wants a place in the sun. A man wants a gal proud to say she'll become his loving wife. He wants a chance to give his kids a better life. Well, hello, brother, hello. Yes, hello, brother, hello.
Paul Kohansky, everybody. It's
Thank
always
you.
a highlight when Paul sings a song, and he never tells us what it's going to be. But this time he did. This was a big change. This is 20th anniversary surprise.
That's right. More chords than
More chords than usual. That song was sung by, he probably didn't write it. I don't know. But Louis Armstrong. And when this series is about the roots of American music, that's the tagline for Pastures of Plenty. And certainly that all this stuff we've been listening to fits into that format. And Louis fits right into the middle of it. We have a last couple of videos, and then we're gonna bring you back here and sing you home tonight. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Thank you for watching this. I know it's not the same as being here in the club, but we miss you. And next year on the 21st, the oft ignored 21st anniversary of Pastures of Plenty.
People don't really celebrate the 20th. People don't celebrate the 20th. Everybody's all about the 21st. So that's going to be the big one.
Well, we can drink at the next one. We'll be all
three.
grown up. 21 years. And I will ask you at home to thank you for being here. And I'll say one time, thank you for your donations, because your donations are what allow me to pay these people. We don't get to sell tickets anymore. So we rely on the generosity and the goodwill and the honor system. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to help pay these working musicians so they can keep going during this time, including me, because I got small children who are 13 and they want a lot of expensive electronics these days. One of my favorite musicians who's out on the scene these days, she's not local, she lives down in the DC area, is Chris Matthews. And Chris is one of those voices out there that really has something to say. And one of those voices that when she sings a song, you want to lean in and hear what she has to tell you. So here's Chris Matthews, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say thank you so much to Alastair for inviting me to be a part of this. Congratulations on 20 phenomenal years. The song that I want to sing for you is a song that I wrote for a hero of mine, John Lewis, the late, great John Lewis. And this song is called Call Them In. And I think that's what so many of us who are committed to trying to create change through our art try to do. And so thank you again, Pastures of Plenty, for doing that, for giving artists like me space to do that. It's a beautiful thing. Congratulations. The battle lines are drawn, and once again, somebody's saying, wait, be patient. If they knew how long it would be before all people could truly hear freedom ring, I wonder which end of that moral arc would they choose. I wonder if more would have walked in his shoes. This is what revolution looks like. You gotta get in, then stay in this fight. You've got to find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Freedom riders or letter writers, do what you can, just shine your light brighter. Somebody called him a saint among men, a founding father, an icon, a legend. Ordinary people with such extraordinary vision in a country so young, hard pressed on every single side, but not crushed, saying, in God, love, and justice we trust. This is what revolution looks like. You gotta get in and stay in this fight. You've got to find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Freedom riders or letter writers, do what you can, just shine your light brighter. Make a trouble every chance you get. Eyes on the prize, we're not finished yet. Don't tolerate injustice, my friends. Call them out, but then call them in. If you see something that's not right, not fair, stand up and say we can do better. He said, I may not be with you when we reach the other side, so let the power of love everlasting be your guide. 'Cause this is what revolution looks like. You gotta get in, then stay in this fight. This is what revolution looks like. Get in and stay in this fight. You've got to find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Freedom riders or letter writers, do what you can, just shine your light brighter. Make a trouble every chance you get. Eyes on the prize, we're not finished yet. Don't tolerate injustice, my friends. Call them out, but then call them in, call them in. Find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Make a trouble every chance you get. Make a trouble every chance you get. Make a trouble every chance you get. Thanks so much.
So happy anniversary, happy 20th anniversary to Pastures of Plenty. And Alastair Moock, congratulations for 20 years of finding cool people to play together and celebrate the roots of American music. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield. Down by the riverside, I ain't studying war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't studying war no more, no more. I ain't studying war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't studying war no more.
lay down my politics down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna put aside my politics down by the riverside. I ain't studying war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't studying war no more. No more. I ain't studying war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't studying war no more. I ain't studying war no more.
Ain't gonna study war no more, no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. We've been playing along with all these videos here. Wish there's not technology to make it really work yet. During the next pandemic in 20 years, we're gonna have it. We'll be able to do all of this all together. That's our buddy Jamie Walker there, who's played with Paul since the beginning of time, and with me since half that amount of time, and one of the great gentle humans in the world out there. Well, we're gonna toast our 20th anniversary together. Matt and Abby, come over and toast up with us, would you? We got a little Glendalough Irish whiskey here. 20. Guys. Cheers at home. We've been being as safe as we possibly can. And because we don't have a president who sets an example, we're trying to set one here for you. And, you know, when I asked everybody to be part of this a couple of months ago, there was this cliff out there. And I was really worried mostly I was worried about my Pastures of Plenty series. Obviously, that's the main concern. It's not America or the fact that we were heading towards fascism, all of that. The Pastures thing was really important to me. And I sort of suggested to people, maybe you should get your videos in before the election, because we might all be like in bunkers afterwards, or at least deeply, deeply depressed. But here we are, and hopefully we will have a mask-wearing president within a couple of months, and we'll rid ourselves of a cancer, which will always be with us. Sorry to end on a dark note, but it's kind of important to say. We've been living through 4 years of plague, and this year is just sort of the physical manifestation of a deeply dark part of American history. And I am hopeful, I'm optimistic, because I feel I work with children, and so I feel like I need to be, that things can get better if we work together. So I want to sing a song. I think this was originally recorded by the Mississippi Sheiks, probably, but Doc Watson did a version of it in his inimitable style. He's not even a finger picker. He's mostly a flat picker, but when he finger picked, he could do anything he wanted. And this is a song, it explains how I feel tonight. It's called Sitting on Top of the World. Was in the spring One sunny day, my sweetheart left me. You know she went away. Now she's gone. I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. She called me up from down in El Paso. She said, come on, Daddy, you know I need you so. Now she's gone. I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. You don't like my peaches, don't you shake my tree. Get out of my orchard, you let my peaches break. Now she's gone. I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Mississippi River, so deep and wide. You know my baby, she's on the other side. Now she's gone. I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. It was in the spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me. Yeah, she just went away. Now she's gone. I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top. I'm sitting on top. I'm sitting on top of the world. Yeah. Oh, an encore? Oh my God. Thank you guys. We weren't expecting that. What a pleasure. Well, we're not going to get up and leave because we know that would be the end of the show right there. We're just going to sit right here. I've said many a time, and I hope to get him on one of these shows one of these days. I'm hopeful. I recently met him through Betsy Siggins, former executive director of this club, Club Passim. There was an event down on the Cape, and sitting there was Jim Queskin. Now, Jim was doing this kind of stuff back in the 60s in the club, just hootenannies like this. But that was a different time when this was actually popular music. And he had a bunch of guys, and they were doing exactly this, just making shit up on the spot, spontaneous. And somebody came up and said, would you like a record contract, with a major record label? And Jim said, well, this, they said, I want to sign you in your band. And he said, well, this isn't a band. This is just a bunch of people hanging out in Club 47. He said, give me 6 months and I'll turn them into a band. And they did. So he says he's the first person to ever get a contract with a major record label for a band that didn't exist. And
now it happens all the time.
Yeah. Those days are gone. But this tradition, the point is that this tradition has been going on well before Pastures of Plenty. It will continue after, because this institution, Club Passim, continues to make folk music relevant and alive. And honestly, nobody has done more to help make this club relevant in new ways than Matt Smith, who's over at the soundboard. Thank you, Matt, for continuing to update this place and bringing it into the 21st century. and keeping the traditions alive. Thank you guys for being here with us. We're going to end with this song. This is our song that we like to end Pastures of Plenty with, a song written by Hughie Ledbetter, better known as Leadbelly, and made famous by the Weavers, but really it's Leadbelly's song. I should just say before we go, this is Sean Staples on the mandolin and the guitar and everything else. An institution in and of himself, one of the tallest mandolin players ever to be seen in these parts. Paul Kohansky on the bass, another institution unto himself, and Eric Royer. He's not an institution, but he's a corporation. On banjo, which he's well known for, and dobro, which he's not, and which he sounds amazing on.
He should be known for.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Last Saturday night, I got married. Me and my wife, we settled down. Now me and my wife, we have a party. I'm gonna take another stroll downtown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Paul, sing one.
Stop rambling. Stop your gambling. Stop staying out late at night. Come home to your wife and family. Sit down by the fireside bright. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Well, I love Irene, God knows I do. I love her till the seas run dry. If my Irene never left me, I'd take morphine and die. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Play one on that mandolin. Sing, Eric.
Sometimes I look like a guy, and sometimes I look like a clown. Sometimes I walk over to the Merrimack River and jump in and drown.
Irene, good night. Make up your own verse at home. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Let's break it down. Let's sing together. Help us out. Irene, good night.
Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you next year in person. Good night, everyone.
That's Eric Royer, Paul Kahansky, Sean Staples, and Alastair Moock. Alastair Moock's Pastures of Plenty has been playing here for 20 years, and we're thrilled to have them here again. Keep the eye on the calendar for November of next year when we're going to do this in person. I'll say it here. So come on down. Make sure you get a chance to donate at passim.org/stream. We really appreciate you being here, tuning in, and being a part of this whole crazy music scene we have here. We'll hope to see you again in the club soon.